next guest is the hilarious comedian Fortune Feimster. She's been making audiences laugh for more than a decade with her appearances on Chelsea Lately, The Mindy Project, and her 2 Netflix comedy specials. Now she's starring alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What?
I know. In the new Netflix spy thriller series, it's called Fubar. It stands for, Gayle, you know now.
I know now. I didn't know yesterday.
Effed up beyond all recognition, as we used to say in the Army. Feimster is helping to save the world with Schwarzenegger in his first TV series. She plays a CIA field operative named Rue, whose analytics also help her colleagues' personal lives. Here's a preview.
I just airdropped you Recon on Tina. Online purchases, Spotify playlist, Netflix history. It turns out she has a nostalgia erection for the 70s. Sucks for you because men back then were men. Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, and you ain't them.
I don't know. We grabbed late night tacos the other day, and she just complimented my muscles.
It's because we're undercover. You think she's really interested in your linguine arms? You've got her.
Fortune Feimster joins us now. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
We're so happy you're here. The movie's hilarious. We were all saying, what was it like when you were first approached for the series and they offered you an action role?
Action role.
Listen,
Because look at you, action star.
I mean, I clearly, The Rock and I are twins. So it wasn't too much of a shock. But no, I really never thought I would get the opportunity to do something like this. So as soon as it was offered, I was like, absolutely, to do an action series with one of the biggest action stars in the world. I mean, that's incredible.
Did he have any advice for you in getting prepared, doing the stunts?
He was like, Fortune, when you shoot a gun, don't blink. I was like, okay. Don't blink. Keep your eyes open.
You can't help but imitate him.
I mean,
when you're around him.
Yeah, every time I'm around him, I'm like, come on, Arnold, get to the chopper, let's go.
Get to the chopper.
But, he has a great sense of humor.
So what's so great about this role, I think, for you, which, by the way, guys, is #1 on Netflix.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
For 4 days, it's trending also global, worldwide.
Yeah, really.
So that's another feather in your cap.
Thank you.
But you have some of the funniest lines in the movie, I have to say that. I thought a lot of them were ad-lib because you do it so effortlessly. But we got to see you being vulnerable. We got to see you being sad. What was that like to show that side of your acting abilities? Because it was different.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that opportunity because a lot of people know me from my stand-up.
Yes.
They know me from my silly characters.
Yeah.
And acting is something I really love. I've been on some really cool shows, but to get to go there and show emotion and not be, just the joke person was
Were you
really
nervous
nice.
about taking that on?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That day I was, pacing around, trying to, just really get in my headspace of that, what that moment would be like, and try to work on the lip quiver. A little. It's not as good. It's not as good in the morning. It's not as good in the morning, but it was. I really took that responsibility seriously. Yeah.
You're very funny in your stand-up.
Oh,
You've got a half hour on Comedy Central recently, and you're touring now. You're from the South, but you're now touring through the South as well. And I feel like it's a tough time for comedians because different audiences have different tolerances for jokes and for the types of people they meet these days. Has the South changed to you since you grew up there?
I mean, it's been a while since I've lived there, but I am Southern. I grew up in North Carolina. So it's a world that I'm familiar with and a place that I don't shy away from. It's where I grew up and I have a lot of great memories there. But a lot of my stand-up is storytelling. I stick to my stories. I talk a lot about my family. I talk a lot about my relationship. I don't really get into politics and whatnot. There are people who do it way better than me. So I'm just trying to tell stories that everyone can relate to.
But it's relatable. But I look at your life, though. Here you are. I go back to Fortune 2003. You come to, I think, California?
Yeah.
So you have $30 to your name. What were you going to do with the $30, #1? And you're driving an Acura Legend. What were you thinking as you go there? And then fast forward to 2023, and here you are with Arnold.
I mean, it's wild. I think when you're that age, you're not really thinking like that this is a huge thing, and you're very naive in that, like, I mean, let's just see what happens.
But what was your plan with $30 in your little car? What was your plan?
I think I had an opportunity to work as a personal assistant at some point, and I think I was just like, let's just use this as a life experience, yeah.
And you're doing better now. If I needed to borrow $30,
I mean, you want $30 right now?
Yeah. Okay.
But it was a really full circle moment. The show premiered 20 years to the week of when I moved to LA, and I had $30 to my name, and to have this kind of show come out and show the hard work that it took to get there. It's not an overnight thing. It really does take
Does
time.
Jax like being part of your act? You said you talk about your relationship. Your
Recently
lovely wife
married,
is
yes,
here.
yeah.
Yes,
Here.
she's a great sport about it.
Or is
you
she
know?
like, okay, you don't need to include this, dear?
Yeah, right. There's some things to be kept to us, but we'll go on a hike, and she'll be the one that's like, oh, remember that story about when we got in a fight on the train in Europe? We'll talk about that. So she's really good about.
But you talk about her, and this is Pride Month. You came out gay later in life, and you're still touring in these conservative cities.
Yeah.
What's the reaction like when you do talk?
Yeah, this
about
is what I was trying to get at. I kind of ducked it. I was getting a little too gentle
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
I mean, I think that people still need representation, right? I came out later in life because I didn't see myself represented in any stories. I had no thing that I could relate to. So I take the responsibility very seriously. I go into these places where people are starved to hear stories like mine. They want to see themselves in my story. And if, they're either part of the community or an ally, you can look around and see there's a room full of 2,000 people who are leading with love, acceptance, and I think that's an important thing. And the best part is they get to laugh, and I love that I get to do that.
Did you know what Fubar meant?
I did.
Glad knew. Okay, all right.
Fortune, so great to have you. Congratulations. One last Arnold impression before we go.
It's not a tumor.
That's the best one.
Fubar is currently streaming on Netflix.
Okay.